The new giant Tree of Life poster featuring every new Gala Pokemon is available now. Pick one up before Christmas as a gift to yourself or to a friend by using the link in the description, and thank you for supporting the channel, as well as those of you supporting on Patreon, such as the Nerd Therapist. Thank you. Hello, Pokemon Masters! My name is Birdkeeper Toby, and thank you for clicking on this video. Pokemon Sword and Shield are here, and there are already mysteries. There are so many wonderful new Pokemon to investigate. Two of my favorites are being talked about in this very video. And the Pokemon I want to talk about in this video, as you've seen by the thumbnail, is Runerigus? Hang on. Coltergeist. Runerigus. Oh, I can already tell it's going to take a while to get used to some of these pronunciations. The new evolution of Galarian Yamask. Yamask was a Pokemon introduced in Generation 5. It is a kind of a spirit of a deceased person. Person, not Pokemon specifically, and it carries the mask of the face that it wore during life. This is a death mask as seen in many cultures, but specifically in ancient Egypt, that inspired this Pokemon, despite it being the Unova region, which is American. But never mind. Yamask, of course, evolves into Coltergeist, which is one of the most creepy Pokemon. It is a spirit now inside of a sarcophagus, again, ancient Egypt inspired. Sarcophaguses were kind of designed like, I guess like a coffin. They were designed to resemble the pharaoh or the person that was inside them. They often kept treasures inside them, and they were usually kept in tombs. And because a lot of these burial sites went largely unprotected, they were often raided by tomb raiders, not Lara Croft tomb grave robbers, and archaeologists, who are kind of doing the exact same thing, just legally. They're doing it illegally. And, you know, stuff goes in a museum rather than their bank account, I guess. But I guess they get paid. Oh, I don't know. That is in no way the point of today's video. I am just getting off track. But here in the Gala region, something different is happening. Yamask is carrying a bit of a stone tablet, a bit of a rune. Runes are ancient stones, often with depictions of various things. Runes, similar to ancient Egypt, are like hieroglyphs. They are symbols that are cut or chiseled into stones found all around the world, but yeah, here in the UK, in the Gala region. And Yamask has a little stone slab of one of these things. It is not a death mask, it is not like it's a person anymore, and in fact it appears to be the tail of a serpent or dragon, and when you look at its new evolution of the region, Runerigus. It's gonna be Marshana all over again. Runerigus. This Pokemon shows the full picture. It is a snake or a serpent. And my question is, if not a person, what is this serpent? Well, to find the answers in Gala, we first have to go back to ancient Egypt a little bit. Hybrid Hero did a whole theory about this, talking about what exactly Yamask and Coltergeist actually are. We obviously know that they are very tied to the lore and world of ancient Egypt, and what they believed. And while there are a lot of interpretations, one of the things that is very, very clear is that the Egyptians believe that when you die, it's not the end. Nor is it necessarily the afterlife, it is kind of an in-between phase. And your spirit is kind of divided in two, the Ka and the Ba. According to my very scientific notes, very historical, the Ka is kind of, it's the life force of the person. It still requires sustenance. It's kind of linked to the body in the afterlife. And that's why Egyptians in their tomb would put hieroglyphs of like food, for example. It's to help keep the Ka nourished. And that's where it stays. The Ba is the personality of the person who died, and the personality will go off into the afterlife and spend some time there, just basically getting acclimatized to whatever the afterlife is. And every night, return to the tomb and join back up with the Ka. However, the ancient Egyptians also believed that if a tomb robber went in, if a grave robber went in and anyone in any way defiled the tomb, if they took or stole anything, and often these things, the sarcophaguses and the death masks, I mean, look at this, ancient tut, that is gold. That is something that someone would want to steal, and if they did that, it would mean that the spirits would not be able to join back up into one, and you'd end up with a wandering spirit, and that's kind of what Yamask is, carrying its mask around, looking for its body. With Coltergeist, you can still see Yamask's mask at the top. It's kind of grown into a full sarcophagus, but according to its Pokédex entries, it's only pretending to be a sarcophagus. It's not the real thing, and now it's trying to lure in grave robbers, kind of as a punishment. So if that's the case, what is Yamask in the Gala region? Because it's not the lost spirit of a person that can't connect with its body. There's no face mask there, it's not a person shape. Instead, it's this dragon, this serpent. So that's a place to look. Do we know of any deceased serpents in the Gala region? Now we look to Dreepy and its whole evolutionary line ending in Dracopult, which, by the way, aren't these the most beautiful Pokemon? I love them. They are ghost dragon types with a very specific gimmick. Dragapult and its mid-stage evolution, they look after Dreepy. They protect them, kind of. They live as a community because Dreepy are weak, and according to its Pokedex entries, it can be defeated by a mere child. It is that weak. It is that vulnerable. But that's okay, because Dreepy has protection, and it's kind of already a ghost anyway. The way that the afterlife works in Pokemon, we don't really know. There is definitely a stage between death and the afterlife, which is being a ghost Pokemon. Just take a look at Cursula, and Corso's Pokedex entry that talks about how it was wiped out. It's clearly not wiped out, it's still here, it's just a ghost. This is much like ancient Egypt, where they suggest this kind of middle plane of existence. So that's really what all ghost Pokemon are. They're not fully dead, but they're not fully alive either. That includes Dreepy that are born that way, and they live in the protection, so they don't fully die, of their parents. Dragapult, who, as all good parents do, fire their children at enemy at max speed. What? Sorry, what? What is that? Pokedex, what? Dragapult fire Dreepy at their enemies at max speed? But it's okay, because they probably, you know, float one over and pick up their child again. But what happens if the baby Dreepy can't kind of fully recover? Or what happens if it gets fired off in another direction and it can't get back to its parent and it is unprotected? Some mere child comes along, finds this ghost and plays with it to the point where it dies by accident. It's pretty dark. Well, much like Yamask in Unova, where it grabs onto a death mask, the nearest thing to it, to kind of keep it alive, and it wanders about looking for its body, maybe Dreepy does the same. We already know that there's plenty of runic structures all around Galar that have kind of mystical property. A Dreepy fired in the wrong direction, sent far away from its mother, may want to grab on and attach its spirit to one of these stones. It is here that it becomes a Yamask, and when it evolves, much like how a regular Cofagrigus would pretend to be a sarcophagus, now it pretends to be a dragon, just like it was in real life. I suspect that the dragon, the serpent, while not depicted 100% accurately, as it doesn't look like really any Pokemon, I thought maybe Zygarde, I thought maybe Drampa, it doesn't quite work for me. This, to me, given that it lives in the Galar region, side by side with Dragapult and its savage parentry, to me, that makes the most sense. But that's just a theory. Additionally, just a kind of afterthought from this video, some food for thought here. The way that you evolve Galarian Yamask is incredibly strange. It has to lose HP and you have to evolve it in the Dusty Bowl underneath a rock pillar. Clearly, Yamask is connected to this area, and Dreepy, the only area that you can find it in the game, is just next to the Dusty Bowl in the Lake of Outrage on a cliff. You can imagine an odd Dreepy being launched into the Dusty Bowl, where maybe it wouldn't be able to get back to the Lake of Outrage, potentially in a snowstorm, thus stranding it and forcing the spirit of the Dreepy to become attached to the runes and rocks in this area. But what do you think? Obviously, that is just my opinion. It's great that I can already start coming up with Pokemon theories, and I look forward to playing the game. I have several kind of mental lines of inquiry, things that I'm going to look into very, very soon. So there should be a lot of videos coming up. You are all wonderful. I will see you with more Galar content soon. And of course, soar high, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.